Already, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. My body soul got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling bling body. Calling all the shots, ring body.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tashana. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today I'm doing my earphones because the persons are saying that the audio was low, couldn't really hear me and whatever. I'm very soft spoken. The only time I'm really loud is unless I'm like super excited or unless I'm mad. So my apologies if the video was low, but is if I look a little bit tired. It's been a very long day. Had a lot going on. Nothing in regards to this here situation, just like everyday busy regular life. Like I had a lot going on, so if I seem tired or whatever, I'm a little bit tired, just letting you know. So I feel like I want to just finish off with this whole thing, then just address whatever. There are only two people that really have an issue with me speaking about what I spoke about, and I just want to say, whenever somebody speaks up, you need to listen to them, no matter how long you feel like it happened. If somebody's saying something happened to them, believe them. I have several of these stories and I've never spoken about them. And it's not because I'm lying, it's because, first of all, you need time to process what happened. You need time to process. Sometimes you don't speak up because you feel like if you do at this time, it's just going to make whatever situation you have going on worse. I say everything takes time and people speak on things when they are ready to speak on it. So don't discredit somebody because they didn't speak on it right away. The other thing is how the female was dressed. I don't know why in Jamaica, girl will say, hey, he assaulted me. And the first thing the person is going to say is something to the effect of, what were you wearing? What were you wearing? And it's just like, that's not how the world works. You don't take advantage of somebody because they were wearing something short and something appealing or whatever. So my uniforms are always tight. I had many other male teachers. Nobody never said anything to me. It's all up to the person. Like that's not a reason. To go back to my point, I was also in a situation like this before, and I'm going to share a story time. I share that story time with you guys because I have a lot of these story times, like I said, where I was being literally stalked by this person. And I remember everybody knew about it. And one of my Jamaican friends said to me, he saw me walking one day and I had on my shorts and a top, and he was like, oh, so that's what you've been wearing. That's what he said to me. He said, oh, so that's what you've been wearing. That's why. Oh, I understand now. I understand. And it's just like, dude, you understand what? Like, you dress how you want. You see, and let me say this. I find it very funny that people can say that, and I'm supposed to feel like, oh, maybe dress better. Dress better. Help the man that's struggling with temptation. Help who? Go help yourself, sir. Go help yourself. It's not a female's job to walk around and hold themselves back and try to not be appealing to anybody. It's not anybody's job to do anything to make somebody else comfortable or to make somebody else not do something. It's not on the person to do that. It's not. And the other thing is that I wanted to speak on, at this point, we are adults. We're adults, and a lot of children go through assault and a lot of children go through abuse, right? And you would think that they should be comfortable speaking with an adult, and the adult should get on it right away, like be on it, shut it down, do what they need to do immediately. That's what we would have thought or wanted when we were growing up for somebody to do, right? To protect the person and stand up for what the right thing is, regardless of how good the person that the allegations are being made against looks in your eyes, or how innocent the person might seem. It's your job as an adult to get on it, you know? So we are the adults now. We are the adults now. And if it is that somebody, me in this situation, is saying like, hey, this is what happened to me, and our response is, but you were wearing tight uniform, or you weren't innocent as a child, da 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 da. If our response is that, like, we need to check ourselves. It's very scary, because at this point we are the adults now. So if we have children, like, are we not going to protect the children? Not just because I'm older now and it happened long ago, it's still something that's happened. And if you're not outraged by it immediately, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. Honest to God, our minds really need to be renewed. And the other thing is all abuse and everything. One of the persons left in my comment section something that I thought was very profound, and she got it because she's a very spiritual person. Is very spiritual, and anything related to it could be a case, it could be just the intention to have. It's a very spiritual thing, and it sends a lot of things your way, and a lot of some people don't believe in Christianity and all of that, but a lot of demons are in the mix of all of that going on. So you're going to find that people are bound to speak on certain things. A lot of the time it's not even just physical, and you have to understand that when people speak on things, it's not because it didn't happen, it's because they could not, or they didn't feel like speaking right away. Remember when I got to a point where it was just like I was feeling very bad about the situation, and I remember they said I had a lot of grudge in my heart against everybody involved in the situation, because it's just like I couldn't understand like why I was being made out to be the bad person. If I was saying like, hey, listen, he really doesn't want any of us, and ask him what he's really on. I don't understand why I was made into the bad person. And I did a lot of praying. I remember praying for both of them, like, because it was a lot of hurt and disappointment in the fact that that's all I said, and I became the bad person, or the person that was supposed to be looked down upon, whatever. And remember, even when he said like, oh, you had a child already, blah blah, if I had a child young, and I am more so, because you know when you have a child, that this didn't happen to me. Like, my life went on normal. I still went to university, I still worked jobs and all of that. My husband was around, cause we eventually, the person that got me pregnant, eventually we got married and whatever. He was around and everything, and it didn't happen with me, but the stigma would have been like, oh, you got pregnant, so your life is over and you are not going to amount to anything. So why add to it? Like, if you felt that, why add to it? That's just my question. So it was literally somebody taking advantage of the whole situation, just taking advantage. To get into the video right now, I'm going to get into the video.
So that is that. Plus me even see you since that, you know, when you go to university, you know, I see you, I don't know if you remember, you know, me see you first. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bless you. I say, yeah, and you bless me up back. I'm gonna have something against you, and I bless you. No, that wasn't it, man. That wasn't it.
Okay, to answer that question, I'm going to be talking about the messages that he sent to the girl, the student, initially in response to what I posted. And I'm going to show you the difference in tone. I'm going to be showing you guys the difference in tone when he explained to her versus when he came to me. And this is the type of person that we're dealing with. We're dealing with somebody that is two-faced. We're dealing with somebody that will, because all along he's still talking to me, like I said, still having conversations. And like I said to you guys, I'm going to be honest, on my part, I was being what they call I was mocking a friend that he was sleeping with. I was mocking her because she had slept with my ex, like I said, and he was still messaging me and still going along. Like I said, when I said to her, like, cut him off or whatever, you cannot force anybody to cut off somebody if they don't want to cut them off. So we were still being friends, and she was still with him, and he was still texting me. So I used to say to her, like, if I did so and so with him, you would feel bad, right? And she said yes. She said yes. And in my mind, like I said, I'm very, like, think about things and whatever. So, like, she would say yes, she would feel away. And in my mind, I was like, look at that. You would feel away if, and don't even take that to be like I was going to have him. I wasn't going to, because if I wanted to, like I said, initially, when he was approaching us, he was texting me first, and I was taking very, very long to give him anything, whatever. And then that's how he started having, right? Because this girl wasn't giving it up. So don't even say like I wanted to or whatever. I just said that to her to say, like, look at that. You would feel away if I did something with a man that cheating on his girlfriend with you. You're literally a side girl, and your feelings are so invested, and you would feel away if somebody else, he cheated on you, I guess, cheated on you with somebody else, but you don't feel like it was wrong for you to have with somebody that I am actually with. You don't feel like that is wrong. And that's why I used to mock her, like, oh, he texted me, like, every time he would text me, I would text her, blah, blah, blah. So in the text messages that he sent to the girl, he said, like, the friend had a problem with our communication and told me to stop, and he stopped, which he didn't, because up until the time when he got married, he had messaged me on Facebook and said, I changed my number, send me back your number. Just know that when I said the stuff about, like, if I wanted to, I could, and whatever, just know that it was literally me being, mocking. I was mocking her, or taunting her with him to say, like, look how easy it could be to do that if I wanted to. I'm not that type of person. So yeah, to say that you used to still call me or talk to me or whatever, see me on the road and call to me to say that you didn't say anything negative about me is not something that I take, because you've been talking about me, like, I know that. And even when you message the person, your tone was totally different from when you come to me. You hear how him sound? He sounds like we're still friends. Why is he calling me Tush? That's the other thing. Why is he calling me Tush? The only people that call me Tush is people that have real close relationships with me, or somebody that I feel like is my friend, or they're comfortable enough to call me Tush. Like, call me Tushana, please. Okay. Second voice note.
Also regarding the unfollow, let me quickly explain that. First things first, alright, sometime I go through, and I'm feed, and I check to see if somebody will follow me. Like, especially for somebody who I think more feel click like on anything. If they not follow me, I end up just unfollow them. And that happened with you yesterday, coincidentally, and in the same breath, in seeing your post, I look for go over to your YouTube page for subscribe, for add a number, for be just a number, and it's so come end up to see the video, because remember say nothing about me, or nothing like that. No post by IG, just go over there. Yeah, say your YouTube, and go over there for subscribe,
Wee. Boy. Okay. Guys. So you make of that what you want to make of that, because I feel like anybody with common sense, like I said, I made the video about my friend sleeping with my ex. In that video, I don't remember exactly what I said in the video, but I made reference to the teacher that she was having sex with in that video. So this is the video that he's saying he went to go watch. And first of all, I put BFF, whatever, had sex, ex, whatever. Why is that video? I post many other videos on my Instagram page. Why did you want to go watch that video? Aren't you like I don't know. But yeah, it coincidentally happened that he went over to the channel to subscribe to my channel with me. No, you watched the video, heard that your name was mentioned, went to go watch the video that I said the teacher and described the teacher and whatever. Then you realize the secret is out and I said what I said. Then you unfollowed to make it look like you have no kind of communication or anything with me or whatever, instead of messaging me and saying, I'm really sorry, I put you through that. I did not know it was something that affected your life, or it was something that you thought about as an adult and whatever, you know. So all you had to do, probably apologize, and then it would have been that. But he had somebody call me, and at the same time, like, how dumb do you think I am? Like, she messaged me, and even the call, I feel like she recorded the call to hear what I said. But the only thing I said to her was I wasn't even expecting him to reach out to somebody to reach out to me. I was expecting, if anything, I wasn't expecting anything at all. Like I said, I didn't know he was still following me. I didn't know this was ever going to be a huge deal or anything like that. It was the unfollow that triggered me to say, but this effort, like, if why just unfollow? Like, why not just apologize? If you saw the video, why not apologize? It means there was no remorse. It means there is no kind of like, I'm sorry for what I did or anything like that. So that's why it triggered me to say, like, this is who I'm talking about and this is what he did, instead of just apologizing. So yeah, stop lying. That's all.
I go over there to subscribe, but at the same time I say, but wait, how comes she not follow me on the IG? You understand? Some feel that, you know them little way they come and say, yo, what the fuck, in my mind, let me tell you this, in my mind you used to follow me and then not follow me no more. No, you can't correct me to say if I'm wrong, I might be wrong. But me and people say, yo, oh, she put do me that. So follow me then and follow me. Like, you know them people who follow people, forget back and follow and then unfollow. So, all of that happen around the same time. You know what I mean? So now even, me never even expect you to see that, because in my mind, that never even have a show. I have thousands of followers, so me I think that not a show. Me never know say unfollow show. You understand? Because me just don't know. You see me? So me never try and offend you with that neither. You see? But okay.
Okay, the other thing is, why would you have a problem if I wasn't following you back? Why would you feel a way about that? Because at one point he said I was just a friend of the friend that he was flirting with, and blah, 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 whatever. So why would you feel a way if I wasn't following you back? I don't get that. And okay, he does not making any sense. Like, what? So if you went over there to subscribe and that's all, to add a number, why not subscribe and just leave? So you subscribe. How? I'm confused. I can't even answer that. Like, I'm confused. I don't get what he's saying, because if he went over there to subscribe, why not just subscribe? Why subscribe and then say, what led you to say, okay, I'm going to subscribe, but is she even follow me on IG? Like, that don't make any sense. Like, how subscribing to somebody's channel led you to think like, oh, she's not following me on IG, I'm going to unfollow her. You're lying. Like, stop lying, man.
Yeah, but no, so at some point I talk fast, because that thing I limit the amount of time I can get to talk. So sorry for the whole heap of voice notes, but yeah, them short. Yeah, I'm gonna go say now. So yeah, with all of that said and done, Tush, I ask you if you can just remove them posts there. Both the video and the IG post. Tush. I never have no animosity, no bad vibe, nothing like that. Yeah? And that not needed nor necessary now. You don't need for you think I go build and you go grow and you go shot regardless. So you can remove them posts there and it is nothing to you. You understand what I say? But it's fair. I'm sure you say, yo, really and truly, all the way I describe is afterwards. Alright? Anything that you know about the afterwards. Alright? So there's nothing illegal there, which is why you post us. Even though it's like your caption has said, so, I do something illegal. But then the story I show say, yo, it happened afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's only fair, yes.
Okay, so number one, we clearly had animosity when he started talking about me with my friend. Like I said, saying to her, she's not going to amount to anything, blah, 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 blah. Don't tell her your business. Because like I said, if you didn't watch part one, I said to the friend, maybe go and ask him what his intentions are, because all this time he's still posting the girlfriend. All of this time he's still with the girlfriend. I think he even lived with the girlfriend and all of that. So even with that, it was like, he's not going to leave the girlfriend, and what are you to him? Like, what are you to him? The other thing is, he, like I said, it was initially, he said something about me being the friend of, hold on, that's in a post. I'm going to speak on that. So yeah, we had animosity when he started talking about my friend should stop telling me stuff because I was telling her to cut the relationship off. So you made it into animosity then, but you thought I did not know because you thought she didn't say it to me, but she said it to me. And instead of me being angry and all of that, I used to pray for you. So we always had animosity, and just because I used to talk to you still doesn't mean I didn't know what you were saying. I knew what you were saying every single time you said it. I knew that you were saying it. About I'm using this to blow up my channel, all of that. This is some one-off, the things that I'm going to be talking about that happened to me. It's just one of them. I'm going to be talking about everything. When I used to watch YouTube videos and I was going through what I was going through, I used to watch YouTube videos. There was something called story times, and I was so intrigued because like, oh, this exact same thing happened to me. This exact same thing happened to me. So I used to love people's story times and listen to other people's story times and all of that. So I said, well, instead of watching people's story time, maybe I can tell my own story times, because my life was also a movie. So I said, let me do my own story times as well. And in saying that I was going to start YouTube and do my story times, one of the things that I had to battle with before I started was whether or not I was going to be completely open and completely honest and talk about everything. And when my answer to that was yes, I decided to start my channel. When my answer to I'm going to be talking about everything and be open and honest, when my answer to that was yes, I started my channel in September. Trust me, somebody saying like, oh, why don't you talk about this or why don't you talk about that? Trust me, it is coming. It is coming. Some of the things that I shared on my story time, like if you feel like I'm withholding information if I spoke about that, like, you know how traumatizing some of those stuff were? Do you know how traumatizing some of those stuff were? If you feel like I'm going to hold back any information, just please don't discredit me, because I have a YouTube channel. YouTube is the place for you to speak. Like, listen, guys and gals, if you're watching this video and you have a story to tell, I would say start a YouTube channel. As long as you're willing to be open and honest, start a YouTube channel. People are going to come at you like this and say like, oh, you're only doing it for views, or you're only doing it for that and whatever. You just have to continue doing what you're doing and tell your story. It's your story. No make nobody bully you. No make nobody try to shut you up. Like, you've been quiet long enough. You've been quiet long enough. And the other thing is why I'm not going to stop talking is because I have other story times to tell, and I don't want anybody to feel like when I speak on my story times, you can just come and discredit me, or you can just come and whatever and it be that. That's not what's going to happen. I'm going to talk about my story times, and you're going to have to listen to what I have to say. Not then, no. You're going to have to listen to what I have to say. That's it. Apologize and move on. Apologize and move on, because this one girl threatening me like, oh, you're going to have to apologize to him in the long run, whatever, because he told his side. He's lying. Who do you know is going to abuse somebody and then come in the open and say yes? If you didn't apologize, you feel like he's going to come and say yes, this is what happened? And if you have sense, you can pick sense out of nonsense and see that if it not go so, it near for go so. That's what my mother always say. If it not go so, it near for go so. Don't come and say this is for views or this is for this or whatever. I'm going to be talking about everything, okay? because somebody out there have that same situation going on, and my story can help them and help them to speak up. So I'm not going to be silent. I'm not going to be silent for not only myself but for other people, because other people's stories helped me, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay.
So yeah, Tush, we just want to remove them thing there. Yeah, yeah, we just there to try to build each other if so, but not try to tear down each other. Alright? Yeah, never have nothing, no negative, think about it, no negative, not past. Last time see you, bless you, me see you. You never even saw me first, I saw you first. Me bless you. And in my mind, yeah, you're good, we're good, there's nothing negative, you know what I mean? And yeah. So big up yourself, you know.
Okay, so think about it. You can just apologize. I can think about it. We never had anything. We had something because he used to talk about me. Just thought I didn't know. Also, when it became like, oh, it was also other students. Like I said, I told my friend, like, this man is not in love. We're not special, anything at all. Because if he was in love, he would have stopped talking to the girlfriend and probably just be like, okay, I fell in love with you by chance. I know you're young, but this is destiny and whatever. And he would cut off the relationship with his girlfriend and start talking to you only. If he was really in love and all of that, and it's just like he's not a, you know, but it's just like natural feelings and he's really just in love, he wouldn't make moves on me. You see, if a student wanted to, if it was another student that was giddy, what would have happened is when he was looking at me like, what's on his skin, blah blah. You see, if it was a student that wanted to have, it would be like, yeah, blah, 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 this happened, blah blah. And so, sir, give me a number now. You can't give me a number, blah blah, or whatever. He would have seen that. You see, if that was a response that I gave, we would have been having in school. You understand? We would have been having, but that was not the response. So he could not, and he couldn't really push it, because if he pushed it and I pushed back, then it would have been, he would have been in trouble. So he didn't really push it. So that is true, he didn't really push it, but he always had the intention. And then when my friend went to Maths Unlimited right out of school, he saw her, and then we were 17 now, and he asked her for my number, and then he texted me. I think he started talking regular first, how are you, blah blah, like I said, and then after that he said, you know, I really liked you all along, blah blah, whatever. I didn't realize I really wanted you, but I didn't want to push it, blah blah. Can't remember word for word, but listen, my Digicel number, I know it out of my head, and if you really want to, like, Digicel can pull up the messages from then. So stop playing yourself. All right, at this point now, I'm going to put on the screen, I'm going to run through this part faster. This is what he messaged the girl and said. He said, one, the flirting took place in 2011 and she was 18 years old. I remember this. She had her child with her on the day in question that I linked up with her and her friend, and she happened to be there. Okay, he said it happened in 2011 and he remembers this. Typical for somebody to say, I remember for sure she was 18. Lies. You just so happen to remember it was 2011. How are you so specific with the date? What makes you feel like it was 2011? What makes you think that? Because you know that in 2011 I was 18, so you have to go say it happened in 2011. You're lying, and you need to stop lying. You know, stop lying. It didn't happen in 2011. It happened in 2010. It happened in 2010 when I was 17. My friend was also 17. Okay, it continued on, and even if you listen to the other voice note, he said you guys were brushing about 18. So you see the brushing. Now he's saying he knows for certain, but in the voice note he says, sent to me, he said you guys were brushing about 18, because he's having a personal conversation with me now, and he knows he cannot lie, but he can tell this person that doesn't know what's going on that yes, it was 2011 and she was 18. He's lying. All right. I had my son with me. I remember I had my son with me, but my friend had my son for the whole time, because I remember when he was meeting up with her and she had a problem with this too. And I said to her, she already got what he wanted from her. They're already having. When we met up, he was mostly talking to me. He didn't have more than 2 lines of conversation with her, because remember, he already had, so she pretty much whatever. She's not the real aim here. most of the day he spent talking to me only, and all of that. When we're coming back, he was talking to me, and he was very, very close to me. He was like, say, this is me, the plant. He was like, and I remember I was moving over, and then this is my neck, and then he was like, and then I remember I put up my hand, and I was very uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable, and I was shocked because I remember I wasn't even going to go. She was coming to my house, and she said she was going to meet up with him, and I said, okay. And she said, come with me. And I was like, but I have my son. And she was like, but sir said he wanted you to come, wants to see you. I remember that specifically. So please do not lie, and please do not try to discredit me, because the more I speak, the more people are going to understand that I'm telling the truth. He said, third thing, absolutely no flirting ever took place until 2011, when we reconnected via her friend who I was flirting with, who was also 18 years old and about to enter university. Okay, and also about the fact that she was the friend, when he said I was the friend of a friend he was flirting with. How would you have known my friend? Okay, this is a good one. How would you have known the friend? Because she was not in your form time. She was not one of your students. She was in a different class than I was, and we both used to get out of our form time session in the morning and go outside. There was nothing he ever said to her during school. I was the one he wanted to meet after class, and then when he saw her that she went to the school, he said to her, where is Tashana? You're Tashana's friend, where is Tashana? Or whatever. So don't say no that, and then even that, to say I was the friend of a friend you were flirting with, to act like nothing happened because she's not speaking out, I'm the one speaking out, even that's wrong. So, and that's very touchy. Still very, very touchy. He said, I respected, rated, admired her as a student like several teachers do, and showed sincere concern with her punctuality record. Even if we spoke after class, there would be persons present in the class, whether cleaning up or just lingering. Very unlikely ever alone, and such convos would not have happened more than about 7 to 10 times max. I've never had any conversations about my potential with any teacher over 3 times. So even if you want to say 7 to 10 times, that's a lot, and that's very suspicious. That's very suspicious still. Okay guys, so I'm editing and I'm remembering. The other thing is form time teachers don't know your grades. They're just your form time teachers that you meet with in the morning and in the afternoon that mark the register to say you're present or if you're absent. So he would not have known my grades. So for him to be calling me after school to say, you know, you have a lot of potential is very strange, because he was not my math teacher. He was only my form teacher. He did not know my grades or know how smart or not smart I was. Who goes to school knows. Listen, there was nobody in that classroom more than my friend. They would go outside because we're leaving class. So they would go outside, and because I take the bus with them, they would wait on me. They'll be like, I don't know if he even realized that there were people waiting on me and that would notice that he was telling me to wait after class, whatever. But there was nobody in the class cleaning up, nothing. And if there was somebody cleaning up in the class, can maybe step forward and tell me that, oh, I heard him talk to her, he didn't talk to her about nothing. There was nobody there. Because if there was somebody there, would you as a teacher feel comfortable asking somebody about their skin? No. So stop lying again. There was nobody there. First of all, the moment the bell ring, everybody want. First of all, when you come into your form time, I believe teachers used to even tell you pick up your papers, pick up your trash or whatever. Make sure that your desk is clean off. You put your stuff in your bag, and then the moment the bell ring, I think we would pray. And then the moment the bell ring, out. Nobody not linger after class. People linger after class outside of the classroom. Nobody don't want to stay in the classroom and linger. No. People want to come out. We were going to eat the tree. I remember for sure, because first of all, most people have friends in different classes. So the moment the bell ring, you're going to rush out of class to go meet with your friends that are in different classes. So that's also a lie. So there was nobody there. And if you can pick sense out of nonsense, just by how the whole thing is, like he has to be explaining what the stuff was, you just know that that's what happened. 5, he said in her story she makes a lot of things about her. That was not the case. She simply was the friend of a girl I was flirting with. I don't know how you're even comfortable saying that, I don't know how you're even comfortable saying that. But go and give it yourself. The friend was fully aware of it. The friend ended up not liking the idea. And I never flirted with this storyteller ever again. So now he's calling me a storyteller. He sent this message to this person before he reached out to me, because this person heard his side of the story and then called me and said she heard his side of the story and she believes what he's saying, and she also heard my side of the story. Oh, she never said she believes. She said she don't know what to believe. And no, she's calling me so we can have a conversation. I was like, I don't want to have a conversation with him, but he can apologize, whatever. So I made a lot of things about me, because first of all, everything that I said was true. If it wasn't, he was asking me to stay after class and was admiring me, like he said. He's saying I'm making a lot of things about me when he said in number 4 or whatever, I admired her, rate her, had potential, blah, blah, blah. You did tell me to stay after class maximum 7 to 10 times. Liar. And I'm not making anything about me. I'm telling you what happened. I'm saying what happened. What? Like, no. Because if I wanted to, remember good, if I wanted to, I could turn around and kiss you. I could make you stay there and kiss my neck and whatever. Wanted to, I could go to his house and go do stuff with him. I could have. Why do I know where you live? Why do I know where you live? Guys, listen. You see these men? These men are something else. I made a lot of things about me. The other part is the friend was fully aware of it. So they're having, I said, he tried to me. He didn't get it. He went to her, still was talking to me. And because she had my ex, I was mocking her to say like, look how I could easily have sex with man that you love off, and I'm not going to be doing it. I didn't say to her, I'm not going to be doing it. Or I said to her, you would have a problem, don't it? And she said yes. And I'm like, look at this. You having a problem about somebody's man that you're taking, and you would feel a way if I did it, even though I wasn't going to do that. I feel like I have to say it every single time. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. If I wanted to do it, I would have done it before she did it. So I would have been the one he was having, and he wouldn't be the one. She ended up being the one that. Okay, yeah, I wasn't going to do it. I'm gonna say it again. I wasn't going to do it. But I used to mock her about it, and every time he would text me, I'd be like, oh yes sir, text me, because I know she didn't like it. And I'm like, oh, look how you territorial over somebody else's man, and you just did sleep with my man. Look at that, what me actually do it. So that's why I used to even talk to him after a while. That's why I even used to even have any kind of conversation with him, okay, just to taunt her. So obviously she felt away. So now he's saying the friend ended up never liking the idea. So she went to him and probably say like, oh, stop flirting with Tashana, I don't really like it. And then he's saying he never flirted with this storyteller ever again. The fact that he even comfortable to say like he was flirting with the students is just baffling to me. Like, I don't know if he. So this person is somebody who was comfortable with. And the reason why I got this screenshot was because she was sending it in a comment. She was sending in a comment section that she was trying to discredit my whole thing and say like I'm lying or whatever. And she ended up sending this to say that this is what he has to say to like make him look innocent, because he's saying that not. But she's not focusing on the parts where he's looking guilty as hell, even to say she was the friend of somebody I was flirting with. She wasn't realizing that, because in fair mind, this person innocent to her because she probably having as well. She's a student, and like even when they come at me, they were very, very, very defensive. They were taking it very personally, and it's just not natural how hard they were going for him. So something had to have been going on between them. And I'm just saying, she didn't even realize how much errors and flaws are in this that she sent in the comment section. So you see, before she delete it, before she get to delete it, because you're going to realize I took a screenshot of it immediately, because this have a lot of things that you should not have been doing, even if we were brushing 18. Okay, so stop lying. He said, no, flirting does not, number 6, flirting does not always mean I am even interested in going further. Most people have done this. I often flirted for fun or just darn idle. Well, you were too darn idle. Who says that? What teacher says they flirted for fun? What are you flirting for fun for? Are you sick? Anyways, this man is so funny. Anyways, I never tried to kiss her. I perhaps had spoken too close to her. That is somebody that's saying, I kissed her, but how can I say I didn't kiss her and make she sound like she doesn't know what she's talking about? I perhaps had spoken too close to her, and she saw that as me trying to kiss her. For one, I'm not so kissy. Also, again, her child was with her in her lap. And even if my child was in my lap, my child was, like I said, so to refute that, he's saying it was 2011. My child is born in June. My child would have been able to sit or on his own or whatever. So if my child was in my lap, my child was young enough where he couldn't sit on his own. So you're giving away yourself again. So if the child was in my lap, because if the child was old enough, the child would have been sitting, because you're making it into that she already had her first child and it was long ago and years after. Why wasn't my child sitting on his own? Why wasn't he sitting on his own? Just answer that question there. So, okay, the child was sitting on my lap. What does that have to do with my neck? And if you perhaps was speaking too close to me, you're lying. You were in my neck, and if my child was in my lap, my child would have been like about here, was a baby. And yeah. Okay, 8, I was never trying to be seductive while at the institution. It was a genuine habit of mine to lick my lips. I even have a pic of me at about age 5 in which I'm biting my lips. I wasn't feeling myself or any of that crap. I was simply polite and welcoming. You were simply seductive and charming and trying to seduce the students. And that's why there's multiple students that you had relationships with while you were in a relationship. You were being seductive, not taking it back. Nobody teaches every single time. I'm like, yeah, so guys, nobody does that. It comes off very, so it comes off to me, and that's how it came off to everybody else. And a lot of people message me and say like, oh, there was always something up with him. Always felt like something was up with him. And that's how you came across, not welcoming. You came across as very seductive. And yeah. And guys, let me just say, I'm going to insert a screenshot here of him asking me for my number a week before he got married. So if that alone too doesn't show his character, I don't know what else. Because if it was somebody that you were flirting with and whatever, and the friend ended up never liking it and all of that, wouldn't you cut me off? Because if the friend said, I don't like it, cut her off. You also are going to get married. How long do people plan weddings for? People plan weddings months in advance. So you would have known that you were going to get married. And the other thing is, I don't know if he posted his wedding pictures the day when he posted it. I think when I checked the screenshot, it was like September 29th. People don't get their wedding pictures back until weeks after. So he was already married when he was still asking me like, give me your number back, I just changed my phone. Why you need my number for? Why you need my number? My friend says stop flirt with me. You get married now. This is years after. Why you're still messaging me? If you stop flirting with me, why are you still messaging me? Yeah, and then I already had known that he was telling my friend like, don't tell her certain things or whatever. So yeah, when I said to him congratulations, whatever, I messaged him after and said congratulations for getting married, blah blah, it's finally official, blah blah, you can live a true godly life now. I think I said that to him and whatever, cause I think now like, oh, he's probably going to change or whatever now that he's married. No, I'm still I was never trying to be sort of, okay, 9, if I had been a random man with no past ties with the institution. I don't know what he was saying because number 9 is cut off. She didn't send the rest of that, but just a bunch of excuses as to why someone should believe that nothing that I said happened. And the last thing you want to do when you're being accused of something is just come at the person and be like, oh, she's lying, everything she said was a lie. And you cannot do it because everything that you're going to try to explain is going to show that something really did happen. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of toxicity, but I just wanted to share my story time. And if you wanted to unfollow, I felt like it should have come before an apology should have come before the unfollow, and that's what really triggered me to post. A lot of persons are saying that I should not have posted it and whatever and expose him. How do you expose somebody that's how do you not expose somebody that's teaching at schools now with other children that you know did something like that before, and it wasn't just with you, it wasn't just with your friend, it was with other students? How do you still try to say protect him or whatever? And like I said, people are saying he started young. Okay, he started young to make that as an excuse. If you're a teacher, you're held to certain standards and all of that, and you should know wrong from right. And even if he started young, the screenshot that I have from 2014 would have been 4 years after. So say for example, I don't remember what age he was. Say for example he was 24 when he started, we were 16, and 4 years after that would have been, he would be 28, 29. So you still mean to say getting married didn't change anything, and he still mean to say he still didn't know what's going on when it was 2014. And that's just an example, because I'm telling you guys it still continued. That's just an example. You mean to say he still didn't know and he was still young? But just the fact that I was your student should have been like, it just wrong. And the fact that I have to explain this is very, very sad. That's the end of this story. I don't think I'm going to even come back with anything else after this. I'm just making it known that I'm not lying, because people are coming at me because whatever. It would have been the one story time, but because people are telling me that I'm whatever, and he's making up a whole other scenario that didn't happen. This is why it became 3 videos instead of 1. Instead of an apology, I got justification for everything that happened and saying that I didn't lie, I'm a storyteller and all of that, and I was simply just a friend of a friend that he was flirting with that was also his student, which doesn't make any sense. Or was a student at the school and still was 17, and it doesn't make any sense. All right, that's it for the explanation and all the long stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys that stood up right away. Really appreciate. Not even going to focus too much on the haters and the people that are saying whatever. I really appreciate you guys. Continue doing your thing, continue having good standards, good morals, even if you weren't an angel, because like I said in every video, I was not an angel, but the adult in the situation was the person that was supposed to stand up for the child in every type of relationship scenario, everything that happened. you're the person that has the responsibility. So yeah, big up yourself if you believed right away and you're on it and you're still very much morally intact. Continue doing good for society, continue being yourselves, and in another video. Bye.